and thank you for being here. My name is Ro, and Joshua will be with you in a moment. We are so excited. Okay, we are ready to get started.
Welcome. Right now, we are going to engage together to discover many innovative concepts about transformation. At the end of this webinar, I'm going to take you through a powerful transformation process called a guided connection. So you'll want to stay tuned to the end of this webinar so you have the opportunity to experience the work itself. If you're here right now, this webinar is for you. If I had to guess, more than likely, you are a person who chooses to take a stand in your own personal evolution, a stand in your own health and healing. I am sure that if you had it your way, you would choose to do what most people would consider to be impossible, which is to create profound and possibly even instant transformation. On today's call, you will learn what quantum energy transformation is and how it can help you transform quickly and possibly even instantly. Why the quantum perspective is the missing link to transformation and healing. And now you will know what most people don't know about getting results for yourself and others. What body intelligence is and how being in the quantum field makes it possible to create profound transformation. What cellular healing is and how it works. How simple tools will help you create change within you quickly and easily. Why strategies fail and how working at the higher levels of energy prove to be much more effective. Discover the benefits of quantum energy transformation right now and how simply changing your perspective will change everything for the better. You know, this event is for people who are interested in this process called quantum energy transformation. It's my version of quantum healing. And if you're interested in that kind of thing, you might be interested in being certified or not. And what's great about my program, it's either one. You can choose to become a certified practitioner, and at the same time, you could choose to just take the class. The program that I'm going to offer is pretty amazing, and I'm going to tell you that offer at the end of this program, and I'm going to offer some special things, so you'll want to stay tuned. So let's get started, and let's talk about quantum. So I want to just make sure that we understand that quantum means cellular, as far as quantum healing is cellular healing. And what that means is that we get down to the smallest part of us that has consciousness, and we move energy within that area of the body and release or transform what's happening inside of us to create instant change. What quantum healing really is about is it's really spontaneous healing. And as you learn to understand the concepts of quantum healing, that's when you can actually make some amazing discoveries that you can produce that result as you so choose to produce that result. So although it's spontaneous healing, you have some control over how it happens. And that's kind of cool, because when you can work with this modality and work with it from the perspective of a quantum perspective, then you have the power to create any kind of change you want. Do you want to change an allergy? You know, you have an allergy, you don't want to have that allergy anymore, or maybe it's a sensitivity, you don't want to have that sensitivity anymore. You might have an ailment like migraine headaches or depression or anxiety or pain or something else like that. And this program guides you to understand how change happens so that you can use the principles to create the change that you're looking for. And it has changed my life and the lives of thousands of people that I have helped. So it really doesn't matter what the problem is in quantum, because the body knows how to deal with it. Your body is intelligent. It knows how to heal you. The problem is we've been in our heads so much that the body can't process. Let's put it this way. You're either in the quantum field and you're going to have a very quick processing experience and the energy will shift within you and that will change the ailment or problem in that moment, or you're not there. That's the bottom line. You're either in a healing place or you're not. If your ego and mind are in control, guess who's not? You. You're not in control. If your ego and your mind, because they can be very powerful forces, are telling you negative thoughts, are getting you to behave in certain ways. For me, it was the anxiety. So when I was feeling that anxiety that I no longer feel anymore, but I had felt it at that time, that anxiety really was ruling my life. That was my mind. That was a part of that process. My mind was keeping me from processing the energy. And because of that, I stayed stuck until I realized that my body is my friend. My mind may not be my friend, but my body definitely is. And so my body has a lot of information in it because it's a cellular experience. You're a cellular being. When energy flows through the cells of your body, that's when you can create quantum shifts. And quantum shifts happen very fast. You might even say at the blink of an eye. Quantum shifts happen because you allow your body to get into a growth place and the body begins to transform like it's supposed to. And here's the thing, we have such a habit to be in our head that many times we think that we're relaxing or we think that we're meditating, but still we're really in our head. You know, the difference between, what you might look in quantum versus hypnosis, there are some things in quantum that are similar to hypnosis. You might even say it sounds the same if you heard it. However, the difference between quantum and hypnosis is that in quantum, you're in your body. And hypnosis, you're in your head. And you're trying to use techniques to shut the head off. So we have people listen to someone talk for a very long time, like 20 to 40 minutes, in a very hypnotic voice, asking them to relax, be quiet for a moment. And in that hypnoticness, it's a great thing to have that hypnotic experience, but we're still in our head. That's the problem. That's why quantum is so powerful, because we can still get into a kind of a meditative state, but it's quite different because we're engaging it from inside the body. When you engage from inside the body, that's when the power that you have shows up. That's when you can make shifts and have changes in very powerful ways, and your life can change so quickly. I didn't realize how quick things could happen, but there was a time that I was quite nervous to get onto telesummits, which I do all the time now. But I was really scared. The very first time I had to do it, I sort of freaked out a little bit, or maybe a lot. And I knew that I had to get into my body and move the energy, and I did. And I just did that once, and I was able to be on any telesummit and do fine without any nervousness, just sort of normal. So the power of what you learn in quantum and the abilities that you create is really, really powerful. I'm just excited to share that with you because what's possible is available to you. What you think is impossible is available to you. Quantum energy transformation is very, very simple. Sometimes it seems so simple that it seems, how could that possibly create that result? But it does. Quantum is something to engage. It's something to experience. It's something to connect with. As much as it is important to connect with yourself. Quantum is a new way of looking at things. It's a new perspective. Quantum healing or quantum energy transformation is all about transformation. Transformation is simply making a change. Now, when we make a change, we want to make a change at a deep enough level that allows you to have a permanent change. So there are some changes that are very shallow, and they're done at the strategy level. So, for example, I'm sure you've heard of someone, or maybe even yourself, going on a diet and then having some sort of New Year's resolution or some sort of an idea that you're going to follow this new path of eating called a strategy. And when you follow that strategy, you are going to, of course, become as thin as you want it to be and as healthy as you want it to be, and either that worked for you or it didn't. Now, as long as we treat things at the strategy level, you have to keep doing the strategy over and over again. And as long as we are working with strategies, it's a struggle to try to maintain them. Because if something appears to us unconsciously to be more important or to be more meaningful at that moment, or maybe even just makes you feel better in some way, then that's going to take over the new strategy you're trying to achieve. So, for example, if feeling comfortable is more important to you than being thin, then what's going to happen is you're going to eat to feel comfortable, and therefore that trumps the new strategy. So then if we work at a higher level of thinking or a higher level of healing, you might think about changing your identity. So who are you being? Who are you becoming? Who are you choosing to become? When we make a change at that level, you get a very different response, because when you think about being comfortable, that now may not be as important to you as being healthy or as being at the weight that you want to be at. So weight loss is a great example, but there's so many different strategies that we take on that simply fail just about the time they've started. And that's because we're working at such a low level of healing that it's actually not healing. So the first thing, in order to really make a big change, or a quantum shift, you might say, is to change your perspective. You see, if you live from the perspective you've always lived before, then you're going to get the same results that you have now. Whatever perspective that you're in, that's the perspective you're going to get the results in. So if you stay in a perspective that isn't working as well, you're going to just get the same results you have already. So changing your perspective, and I think a perspective to live by, is an important perspective to decide. There are many perspectives to choose from. all of them have their benefits. And there are so many benefits in quantum. And what's really neat is that you can utilize those systems at the cellular level to create dramatic change. So what would you like to change? Quantum energy transformation came about really because I fell apart in my life. I think if I never fell apart in my life, I wouldn't be talking with you today, at least in this way. Maybe I'd be doing something else. But I certainly wouldn't have been led this way if I didn't fall apart in my life. And it was a very difficult time for me because I was very anxious and it was really rough. I remember calling people on the telephone asking them to save me because I couldn't save myself, because I was so scared to be alone. I was so scared that if this didn't stop, it would just go forever. I remember very specifically that I was trapped, I was stuck, and I couldn't change it. And when I didn't take care of the problem, well, what happened was it upped the ante. So at first I felt scared and I had some anxiety attacks. And I didn't handle the problem because I didn't know how. Does that sound familiar? I think most of us come into situations where we know that something needs to be done, but we don't know what to do about it. Well, that's where I was. I didn't have any tools. I didn't know what to do other than when I was in that panic, hope that it would stop. And so I became very dependent on people because I needed other people to help me get out of this rut that I was in. So whether they were a professional or a friend or anyone, I just reached out for anyone who would put their hand out for me and say, hey, let me help you for a moment. There are lots of angels in my life. Lots of angels in my life. So as I danced through the angels and as I moved forward in my life, what resonated with me was not taking medication, not going through traditional therapy. I had already done that. That didn't work. I tried lots of things that were very much in alignment with what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to go to therapy, or we're supposed to go get onto medication. And I just felt that wasn't it for me. I have to say it was definitely a thought. If something was going to instantly take away my pain and my upset and my anxiety so that I could function again, because I was not functional at times, I was open to that, but not open to medication. So I never actually took medication. Instead, I studied. I studied over 20 different healing modalities, and I studied them well. And I started to compare them to see which modalities were more helpful than others, which things made me feel better, which things shifted me instantly, which things took a long time. And I played with them all. And I realized that all of them have some validity, that all of them do something good. And at the same time, I worked with other people with this process of quantum because I was put into a situation where I could practice. At that point in my life, I couldn't be at home alone, so I figured if I went out and worked with other people, it would be good. So I went and worked at a hypnosis center and worked with 3 to 6 clients a day, and I was producing really amazing results with these people because of all the training that I had. I had all this training, and I had some understanding about quantum at a basic level. And I took that training and took the other modalities that I was playing with and brought it into a quantum perspective. So I brought everything into this new quantum way of being, and it worked. I started to create such amazing results with clients that people were changing faster right before my eyes than I could even believe. And then it happened for me. And my life changed. And that's when I realized I've got something here that could really help somebody. And I started producing what I call the Come to the Edge program. And I've been evolving that program now for the last 13 years. And wow, it's really grown. It's really evolved into a program that makes change easy, powerful, and dynamic. And what's great about it is that you don't have to know what the problem is or how to get to the answer, because that all happens through the energy movement. And that's what makes quantum energy transformation different than any other process. All other processes are what you might call a strategy. And quantum isn't a strategy. It's a way of being. And from that way of being comes the kinds of results that will change your life. People who want to share what quantum was for them. Here we go.
We were a group of 9 people, and after just a few minutes, I took them into Being Quantum, where they stayed at least for 1.5 hours. They reflected on things in their lives. They could see themselves and their life in a new way, and I noticed what a different experience it is to teach when the others are in quantum as well.
For many, many years, I didn't allow myself to have a voice. It has been so profound, and I'm able to express it in such a loving way.
I've been amazed at how quickly the past few days I've been able to enter that quantum state where I open up my auric field and I, bring myself into my body and experience being that way. I love the fact that it's just becoming normal for me.
I'm at a point where I'm constantly feeling at peace, and it's unbelievable. That simple process is so profound. If you keep doing it and you go into it where it becomes second nature, you start just responding to life, and it feels good. Everything feels good, and it's amazing for me because, I used to be suicidal. I was hating life. It's like becoming a new me and becoming into a new life. Just by that simple, consistent practice, I am just amazed and in absolute awe of this. It's all due to quantum.
We are all learning. We are all evolving.
I'm no longer the same person that I was. I've evolved into someone who's more powerful, confident, and excited to face each and every day. My dad was diagnosed with polymyalgia rheumatica a few years ago and has had a lot of problems walking. I worked with him using one of the processes that I learned in the program called Core Awakening. I talked to him 2 days later, and he acknowledged the work that we did and said that he is no longer taking the pain medication that he had been on for his legs and that he's walking much better.
I guess it's about 10 days ago now. I went out in a taxi cab and he wheeled me up the driveway in my wheelchair. And when I came back, he said, "Do you need your wheelchair?" And I said, "Yeah." And so he went to get it, and I said, I just started walking down the driveway. I was like, this is easy, it's downhill, no problem. So the next time I went out, I just walked up the driveway, and it was so effortless. My heart wasn't pounding, no symptoms, no ache in the adrenal kidney area. I didn't think I could walk that far at all with no symptoms. Just getting out of the house was like a win. Even in the wheelchair, I dropped the wheelchair real quick.
My husband had been on compensation after getting hurt at work a 1.5 years ago. He suffered with pain in his shoulder ever since. I worked with him for an hour using the process of age clearing, and the next day the pain was totally gone.
I'm so amazed of all possibilities, of the evolving that is in Being Quantum.
You explain everything to the detail. You're so articulate that you are really opening a lot of new doors for me as well.
I especially enjoyed having a partner to work with and to practice the new steps that we were both learning. I had had pains in my heels for years, especially when going to bed at night, and that made it really hard to fall asleep. And believe it or not, after just one training session with my partner, those pains in my heels have gone for good.
A client that I was working with came in with severe pain in her hip. She couldn't stand very long and she walked with a limp. I worked with her using the process of being Reiki for about 20 minutes. She was totally amazed at the difference in the pain level after just 10 minutes. She asked me how I did it. My response was, "I didn't, you did." When she walked out of my office, she had no limp and no pain.
I have had backaches in the lower spine for as long as I can remember. After one practice session with my partner, it disappeared and has not returned.
The Come to the Edge program has allowed me to expand my practice and help people to experience more instant and permanent results. It's a must-to experience. It's different, it's powerful, it's simple, and it's fun.
I recommend anyone considering taking this course that it's the right thing to do for yourself and for helping others, whether it's family or friends or even yourself and clients.
Thanks, Joshua, for sharing this amazing work.
So you can hear all of the different people who shared their situation, their story, and their experience of quantum. And quantum is an experience, that's for sure. Quantum is really all about getting out of that protection place, back into growth, and in a place where your body will heal itself. You know, a lot of times we look at healing in the healing industry that we're going to destroy something or kill something so that you could survive. We do that a lot with things like cancer and with other ailments in our medical model, for example. But really, when we look at the body is meant and is created to be a self-healing device. And if we allow the body to work as such, then we have a better chance of creating amazing results. It's amazing what's possible. Quantum energy transformation is so simple. Sometimes it seems like, how can it be possible that this could even make a difference? Well, it can, because when we are in a different perspective or the quantum field, we have a different opportunity to make different changes. Things are possible in the quantum field that are not possible in a therapy or medical model. It's just not available to us. It's not what's normal there. You know, many of my students would say to me, we sort of have a running joke, I guess, you know, someone has a problem, let's say they have anxiety, and we want to help them with that anxiety. And let's say I work with someone and it took 30 minutes. In quantum, we'd actually say, wow, 30 minutes, that's a long time. Because many times things change so much quicker in quantum than in 30 minutes. And it's kind of exciting to think that a half an hour is a long time. And that's what I find in quantum, is that our body spontaneously heals, transforms in the moment, as long as you give it the opportunity. Quantum allergy release. This is something I discovered by working with clients, and it works so beautifully. There are so many allergy processes out there. They're either painful, or they're difficult, or they're hard to do, or they don't work. I remember working with a guy who came to a class. At some point we did in-person classes. Now our Come to the Edge program is online and over the telephone or through Skype. And when this guy came into the classroom, he said, I have an allergy to shellfish. And I said, fine. I said, we can release that allergy. And we did. We released it in 5 minutes, and he had it for dinner. And obviously he didn't have any reaction, and he can have shellfish now. It's pretty amazing stuff. So quantum allergy release is a pretty powerful part of the program. And if you don't have an allergy, it does teach you how to use the allergy release process for other things. So you can actually use that process to release just about anything. The next process that we teach you is age clearing, and age clearing is really a powerful understanding. We log everything in the cellular structure of our body by the year, by how old we were at the time that it happened. You might not remember when it happened, but your body does. And we can actually release things that you remember and things that you don't remember and clear an entire year at a time. So if there was a year that maybe you were sick when you were a baby, we could release that and it's done. How about being in the womb? I don't remember that time, I can tell you that right now. I don't remember when I was in the womb. I have no clue. I'm sure that I have been affected by whatever happened at that time in my life, but we can go back into the body and release from the womb and just have it be done with, so that you don't have any negative things causing a problem. Most issues that we deal with as adults have occurred before age 5. So in age clearing, we definitely release the first 5 years, and it makes a really big impact on who we get to become. And the last thing that we learned in the program is called being Reiki. And being Reiki is a process that I discovered that when you shift your energy, you can actually create a Reiki experience. Reiki is that experience where you put your hands on someone, at least traditional Reiki is, and they feel the energy going through you into them, and they start to, or supposedly they're supposed to heal. Unfortunately, that hasn't been my experience with traditional Reiki. Reiki, although it worked, it took a long time and many, many sessions, and I guess, to be honest with you, I was too impatient for that. And I wanted to find something that worked rather instantaneously. And I decided to create something, and I did. So being Reiki is not at all the same as traditional Reiki, because being Reiki can actually create a shift within 30 seconds. Within 30 seconds. If you choose to become certified, you will become a quantum energy transformation practitioner. In this program, you will learn how transformation really happens and how so many possibilities are truly available to us, much more than you once thought. Discover what's really possible for you. You will also learn the body of knowledge of quantum energy transformation at the practitioner level, quantum energy release, age clearing, and being Reiki, all in one amazing program. This program is really that amazing and profound. The great thing about the program, again, is that it's easy. Could you imagine doing something that's easy that actually creates a result fast? I remember I did lots of different processes, and I used to spend hours upon hours and upon hours doing them. And sometimes it worked, and most of the times it didn't. But quantum, it works so fast, and it works all the time. And that's what I love about it, because it's just so key to have a toolbox that actually will make a profound effect. And when you want to have a shift happen for yourself or a client, and you can know that this will do it. All right. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to share with you a special, and then after I share with you my special, I'd like to take you through a very special guided connection. Okay, so let's go through this quickly but easily. If you go to www.qhc.me/edge. Again, that's www.qhc.me/EDGE. Again, that's www.qhc.me/edge. Easy to get there. Go ahead if you can and follow along with me. I've been teaching Come to the Edge since the year 2000. I've been teaching this program, and I've been evolving it for many years. It is now, I would say, the best energy transformation program available, and it teaches you concepts and understandings that people aren't teaching out there. They're not really understanding how change really happens. The reason I know is because I lived it, and by living it, I get it. And when you live it too, you're going to get it too, and that's what this course is about. This course has 5 modules, and that's an important thing, 5 modules. Let me explain the modules real quickly to you. The modules are like this. The first module is called the Evolution of Beingness. It gives you an introduction to the experience of quantum energy transformation. It teaches you the groundwork so that you understand what you're preparing your body to do, and at the same time you're making changes right away. When you learn the foundation, that's what the Evolution of Beingness is about, is learning the foundation. When you learn the foundation, then you will know for sure how to use this work and know it well and easily. Because this is a practitioner program, you'll be learning this at the practitioner level. The second module is called Experiencing the Quantum Shift. Here you're going to be making more shifts than you did before. In this part of the program, you're going to be getting a partner. You're going to be working with your partner to help each other create quantum shifts. The thing about a partner, which is really powerful, is that people say it's one of the best parts of the program, to be able to get a partner, someone who can know what you're talking about, someone who can say, hey, let me take you through this and we'll try that, and that kind of thing, so that you can experience and understand and really get the full benefits of whatever you're learning in this program. Because what you're learning in this program is going to be cutting edge and really superior to anything else. So when you're learning that, you might want to practice with somebody. And not always is family ready, willing, or wanting to practice, or at least as much as you do, right? So having somebody that gets it, that's learning it with you, can actually help you. It really is a tremendous benefit. Module 3 is age clearing. This is where you clear every age you've ever lived. With age clearing, you can clear things you know about by clearing events and the ages that you have lived, but you also clear things that you don't know about. I mean, I'm sure things have happened to you when you were 5 that you don't remember, but maybe have been traumatic. Gone. Clear age 5, and it's no longer there. Your body stores information chronologically. It stores it by the years that you've lived. It knows what it was like for you in age 1, age 2, age 3, and whatever age you are now. How do I know this? Well, if you've ever used energy testing, or what some people call muscle testing, you can actually think about an age and test your muscle by having someone push your arm down, or using muscle testing, or with your fingers. There's different ways to do that. I'm sure probably most of you have learned a bit of kinesiology. In either case, with muscle testing and energy testing, you're easily able to see what was happening at each and every year that you lived. Your arm will be weak if you had a trauma during that time. Your arm will be strong if that was a good year for you. And you can release the entire year all at once. Actually, you could release 5 years all at once. You could also release things, in smaller chunks or in larger chunks. So it's up to you. But you learn how to use age clearing, and this is important because this is going to get rid of trauma. And if you have an illness or any kind of an ailment, more than likely somewhere in your life it was created, and age clearing will help you release it. Also, by this time, before you even get to age clearing, more likely in the evolution of beingness, which is the first module, what's really going to be great is that you're going to be reducing your stress instantly. It's going to be a big stress reducer. So after age clearing, which is module 3, you go to module 4, which is quantum allergy release. And if you have an allergy or you want to help people get rid of allergies, I know it's a great business in itself because nobody knows how to do it. Allergy elimination is one of the hardest things, and here's why. Many times there are structures out there or processes out there to be able to change allergies. Either they're painful, they take a long time, or the allergy comes back, none of which is a good thing. The other thing about allergies that I don't like is that a lot of times when you release an allergy with a different modality, not quantum energy transformation, with other things, they tell you that you have to abstain from the substance for a period of 24 to 48 hours. I'm thinking there's going to be a parent who's releasing grass, right? They're allergic to grass, and they have kids, and they live in the suburbs. You think the kid's not going to bring in grass within 48 hours, and you think you can stop it? I doubt it. So they say that if you do get in contact with this substance, for example, the grass, then the problem can worsen, or you can have a larger reaction than normal. And I'm like, that's kind of scary. So in quantum energy transformation, it's nothing like that, which is good. In quantum energy transformation, you release the allergy. Usually takes about 5 to 7 minutes. And once you release the allergy, it's permanently released and it never comes back. that's a good thing. It's also very easy to do. Here's the other thing. You know, let's just say, for example, it didn't release, or it released partially. Okay, so what is it going to cost you? Another 5 to 7 minutes? Do you see what I mean? So the process is so easy and it doesn't take a long time that even if you had to do the process 2 or 3 times to get the result, we're not talking about hard here. Typically, it clears in 1, by the way, so you don't need to do 2 or 3, but I'm just letting you know, even if you had to, it's still a really big win. Number 5, or the 5th module, called the Power of Instant Healing. In this part of the program, I tell you, you will be on a journey that will literally change your life. You will learn what momentum is all about. You will really learn how to create instant healing in this section using many different tools, one of which we call the Core Awakening. And it will knock your socks off. And this kind of work really works. And it just jazzes me. It just makes me very excited. And I have some very time-limited specials that I want to share with you. First of all, you're going to get a ticket for entry to the Transform Your Life Instantly live in-person event with Joshua in New York City. And this means we get to engage together. This is part of your program to come to New York and work with me. Not required because all the training is online, but this is a great bonus. If you're able to come to the New York City area, it's really going to be fun. It'll be a time for you to really change your life and really go for it with me personally. And then also, you're going to get a free session with one of my amazing coaches. This is limited to the first 5 people who enroll tonight, and this is really good. Sessions go fast, so it's really important that if you're interested in this program that you do it quickly so that you can be one of the 5 and get a free session. A session can really transform your life quickly because, like I said, 5 to 7 minutes to just make one release. We do many releases in one session and really create a really big change. In quantum energy transformation, a session can literally mean that you evolve during that period of time, and it's a nice thing. And you'll work with the best. I've trained the people that I work with to be the best, and they are, and they will help you transform what you choose. Quantum Dimensional Shifting is an audio program that you receive as a free bonus as well. How to Heal Yourself Instantly is another free bonus. Both programs are pretty powerful. Quantum Dimensional Shifting teaches you about the morphogenetic field. If you don't know about it, you should, because it's how healing and transformation occur. And the morphogenetic field, which is based on science, sort of the group consciousness experience. You can upload information to it and receive information from it, and you're doing it all the time anyway. You might want to know how you do it and how you can do it, and it also helps with your healing as well. How to Heal Yourself Instantly teaches you how to use quantum energy transformation and teaches you some really great basics. You get instant access to both of these programs. You also get the Model of Life. There is a map or a model that I use called the Model of Life. I created it. It's pretty amazing, and it works like it would if you were a medical intuitive. So the model will basically tell you what's really happening with somebody and why it's happening, and it works like a medical intuitive. So if you don't feel you're intuitive enough or you would like to be more intuitive, this model will help you do that. If you would like to be able to have a practice or be able to know in a way what's going on with that person, what might be happening for them, how you can assist them, all of that's going to be taught in this program. So pretty amazing. It's time limited. Like I said, these spots are going quickly. Don't miss out. Sign up now. This is an opportunity to create the life you choose, the success you choose, and you will have the tools to be able to resolve any issue or problem. Take advantage of this special opportunity today. Go to www.qhc.me/edge. Again, that's www.qhc.me/EDGE. And what I'd like to do now is take you through a guided connection. Sound good? All right. Well, let's go and experience some of this transformation so you can experience the work itself. Here we go. Taking a deep breath. Breathe and just be. And with your attention at the base of your spine, check inside and notice where you feel what it is that you are choosing to have. And go ahead and put your hand there now. Soften your body and open. Allow more openness, more space inside of your body with ease. Opening space in front of you. And in back of you. To the left of you and to the right of you. Above you and below you. And if you would, allow a waterfall of energy to open up from the inside of this area. Inviting an instant release of energy and flow. Allow this energy to begin leaving your body now. And when you allow yourself to have, you are ready to open up more. Opening up to your unlimited possibilities. So soften your body even more. As I ask you this powerful question. Breathe deeply. Who is it possible for you to become? Who is it possible for you to become? Yes, this question includes what you choose to have and takes you to another level, allowing you to have even more at the level of who you are becoming, and then taking you up higher to the level of spirituality and possibility. Breathing is good. Opening wide. Relaxing into your body and opening wide. It is possible for you, with the identity of having, to include everything your signal is capable of attracting. You already know what you have and what you now choose to have. Could you now include even more of what you choose to have? Could you allow yourself to have it all? If you notice any resistance to having it all, could you open up to your life and let it go? Breathe into it. Let go. Release. Open. Flow. Until it all moves inside of your body. As it melts away or transforms through your breath. Breathing is good. Breathe in deep and let it all go. That's it. Let it all go. And allow the universe to say yes to you. You say yes to you. Simply because you can. It is important to stay in alignment, which invites the universe to continue to say yes to you. Allow yourself to have it. Have what you choose as you allow yourself to create it easily. Your life is your hologram. Create it just the way you choose. Relax into your success, into who you are becoming, and answer the following questions with your body. Noticing any body responses, any sensations, any feelings that come up from inside of you for each question. What's possible? Notice the sensations in your body and allow energy to move. Soften your body. What are you capable of? Who are you becoming? Where is the sparkle in your life? How good are you willing to have it? What possibilities will you consider now that you don't even know exist yet? Who have you already become? Continue to stay open as you start coming back into the room, sensing your surroundings and realizing that the choices you have made for yourself are now your present reality. Look through the eyes of the person you are about to become and discover who you are. Become curious, stay grounded, and walk through your life as if it is the way you have already dreamed it to be. I know that you will allow your dreams to become your reality, won't you? Thank you for our time together. I look forward to even more in the future. Bye for now. Okay. So as you're coming back into the room, just be. Just be. And as you awaken and come back fully now, notice that you might feel more connected, more open, more you. Yeah. Imagine feeling this way all the time. Nice feeling, isn't it? And then when you learn how to use these guided connections, you'll be able to actually use them in a way that make you feel even better, easier, which is even more fantastic. Remember, go to www.qhc.me/edge. Join this program and let's connect so you can benefit. All of this is in honor of helping you take a quantum leap in your life. So go to www.qhc.me/edge. I'll catch you inside. And I thank you so much for being here, and bye for now. Thank you so much for your love, for your commitment to transform yourself, and for just being you. Remember, I'm here to help you. So, come to the edge, and bye for now.